Is it audible to you? Okay. Hello everyone, I am Dr. Sunil Kumar Srivastava, and today with our learning lessons, you are going to discuss the lecture number 8, and that is the topic is the quadratic equation, quadratic equations. So before going to start the session, we have to come across some general guidelines. Okay. So we have to follow some guidelines that we have to follow during our live sessions. You have to maintain the display for a smooth conduction of interactive live sessions. You have to type your name and enrollment number and program name in the chat box to mark your presence here. You have to raise your questions after the completion of the sessions and do not interrupt between the sessions. Avoid posting any irrelevant questions. Do not start any personal conversation during the sessions. Interaction with the faculty should be constructive and no destructive comment is appreciated. For any issues, any queries, you can contact on the given academic support services, or you can also post your queries on IMS manager _CDOE@bgu.ac.in. So that is the contest, and that is the some guidelines we have to follow during our live sessions to make this lesson more interactive and interactive. Okay. So what is the learning objective? Before start the session, this is the unit number 8 of the session. That is the unit number 8. That is the lecture number 8 of your syllabus. So if you have to know that topic is the quadratic equations. So by the end of this session, you will be able to understand the concept of the quadratic equations. You have to understand the application of quadratic equations also. And you can also analyze the roots are real or not real, and nature of the roots also. We can discuss the nature of the roots of quadratic equations. So these are the some learning objectives, and we have to acquire this goal for our these sessions. Now, first of all, we have come across the points in our previous lesson. We have just discussed with you the expression of the form in the polynomial expressions. I have discussed with you what is the meaning of the polynomials. So we have discussed already with you an expression in the form in one variable. Any polynomial expression in one variable x with a degree n can be expressed as the form of an x raised to power of n plus of an minus 1 x raised to power of n minus 1 so on. And condition is that an is not equal to 0. In that case, an minus 1, all these constants are coefficients of various powers of x variables, and an x raised to power of n, an minus 1 x to the power of n minus 1, these are the known as the terms of the polynomials. Okay, and denote the degree of the polynomials. So any polynomial expressions which have the degree 2, any polynomial expression which have the degree 2 is known as the quadratic polynomial. Any polynomial which have the degree 2 is known as the quadratic polynomial. The quadratic is the Latin word that is derived from the quadrat, which means is the square. Okay. Therefore, quadratic polynomial in the variable x with the real coefficients in the expression in the form of general expression of the quadratic equation. What is the meaning is that? That is the ax square, that is the bx and plus of c, where a not equal to 0. And this is the general expression. This is the general expression of the quadratic form. So this is the general polynomial expression of the quadratic polynomials where A, B, C are the real numbers. Here, the expression in the terms of variables x, and the highest degree of this polynomial is the 2 here. So this is the quadratic polynomial. Other forms of the quadratic polynomials are x square is equal to 0. This is also a quadratic polynomial. X square plus of 5 is also the example of the quadratic polynomial because this is the degree. Highest power of the variables is the 2 here. Degree of the highest variables. But if the coefficient of x square is not present here, suppose the expression of form x plus 5 is equal to 0. This is not the quadratic equation because the coefficient of x square is not present in this. The coefficient of x square must be present. The term x square should be must present in the equation to describe the polynomial as the quadratic polynomial. So everything should be the coefficient that the quadratic polynomial have the three terms. Okay, that is the ax square, other is the bx, and other is the c. This is the constant term, this is the coefficient of x term, this is the coefficient of x square terms. So it has the three terms. Coefficient of x square and term of x square terms must be present in the quadratic polynomials. Must be present. Bx terms maybe not be no fact. C maybe not be no fact, but x square must be in the equation. In that scenario, that case, we can say the given polynomial is a quadratic polynomial. So any polynomial which have the degree 2, any polynomial expression in the variable x with degree 2 is known as the quadratic polynomials. We can also describe it in detail. Any polynomial in the variable x with degree 2, expression is that form ax square plus of bx and plus of c is equal to 0, that define the quadratic equation. When any polynomial is equated to 0, when any polynomial, that is the px, is equated to 0, that becomes, it becomes equation. It becomes equation. So if the polynomial px is the quadratic polynomial, then expression equated to 0, px is equal to 0, is known as the quadratic equation. The general form of the quadratic equations is given by ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, where a, b, c are the real numbers and a not equal to 0. The coefficient of x square not equal to 0. It should be the present in the equation. So examples can be, it can be example x square plus of 3x plus of 5 is equal to 0. This is the quadratic equation form. X square plus of 9 is equal to this is the quadratic equation form. X square minus of 4 is equal to this is the quadratic equation form. X square is equal to 0, that is the quadratic equation form, so on. X square minus of 6x is equal to this is also the quadratic equation form, because all these are the polynomial expression in the variable x with the degree 2. And when this polynomial is equal to it becomes the equation. So all these are quadratic equation. All these are quadratic equations. X square minus 6x plus 4 is equal to 0. I solve the quadratic equation. 2x square minus of 7 is equal to 0 is also the quadratic equations. So I hope you understand what is the meaning of the quadratic equation, what is the general expression of the quadratic equation, and how can you recognize the given expression in the quadratic or not. Any quadratic equation have the three terms: coefficient of x square terms, coefficient of x term, the coefficient constant term. But coefficient of x square terms must be positive in the given expression. Must be positive for the equation to be quadratic. Otherwise, it could be non-quadratic. Okay. If the coefficient of x square is missing in the expression, the equation is not quadratic. That's it. If the equation is not present in the equation, coefficient of this one, suppose if this equation is not present, the remaining expression will not be quadratic equation, not be quadratic. That is the reason behind that. So we have to know the actual concept. What is the reason? What is behind this one? So move forward. We have some examples here to describe our concept, how to the meaning. Question is the given, example number 1. Which of the following are quadratic equation? Expression is given and we have to follow, and we have to describe which equation is expression is the quadratic equation or not. One equation is given here, 3x square minus of 4x plus of 2 is equal to 2x square minus of 2x plus of 4. So making all expression one-sided, what happened here? You write a 3x square minus a 4x plus 2. Transpose the right hand side to the left hand side. When you transpose, the sign of each term will be reduced. So it becomes the minus of 2x square. It becomes the 2x and becomes the minus of 4 is equal to 0. Now we have to simplify this expression. This is a 3x square term. This is also 2x square term. So 3x square minus 2x square means x square. Minus of 4x plus of 2x, this is the minus of 2x. Plus of 2 minus of 2 is equal to minus of 2. So that is equal to 0. In this expression, find here, that is this expression, which is the form of ax square plus bx and plus c is equal to 0. Except we have the c present also, a coefficient of x is also present, but most important, that is the coefficient of x square term is present. Here is also present. So this expression is the quadratic equations. So we can see here the resultant equation is the quadratic equations. In the same context, in the example number 2, that is the x square plus 2 root 2x minus of x is equal to 0. So here we find here x square plus of 2 x raised to power of 1 by 2 or minus of 3. Here this is the fractional should not be applied. That is the fractional power of x is present here. Okay. So we for the solution number 2, we find here that is a given expression x square plus 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. The given equation contains the term x raised to power of 1 by 2. 1 by 2 is not an integer. Okay. So the given equation is not a quadratic equation. The general form is that ax square plus of bx and plus of c. All the powers are here. Power is x raised to this is nothing but is written here. It can be also written x square plus of bx and plus of cx0. The coefficient of x is 0 here, coefficient of x is 1 here, coefficient of x is 2 here. So this should be the not integer. That is, this should be the integer, not a fraction. Okay. So this is the concept should be clear. Here in this expression, we have the coefficient of x square, but x raised to power of 1 by 2 is here. That is the coefficient x square plus of 2 x raised to power of 1 by 2 minus of 3 is equal to 0. So this term is not satisfied by that condition. So it also written here, the above equations contain the term x raised to power of 1 by 2, where 1 by 2 is not a integer. So the given equation is not a quadratic equation. The given equation is not a quadratic equation. So I hope you understand what is the meaning, how you recognize the given expression and given polynomials, which one is the quadratic equation and which one is not a quadratic equations. So for the quadratic, x squared term must be present and the power of each variables, each term must be an integer. Must be a positive integer, not an integer, must be a positive integer. Okay. So roots of the quadratic equations. So what is the meaning of the roots of the quadratic equations? If any expression is equal to 0, suppose you have an expression x square minus of 4x and plus of 4 is equal to 0. So when this expression is equal to 0, is a quadratic equation, then zeros of this polynomial is called the roots of the equation. When the value of the x for which the equation, polynomial expression becomes to 0. That is the roots of the equation. So if the polynomial expression is equal to 0, then zeros of this polynomial is known as the roots of the equations. For finding the roots, a quadratic equation is known as a method of solving the quadratic equation. Suppose x is equal to alpha is the root of the quadratic equation. So it will satisfied by the equation. We put the value of this. So suppose this equation written here, x square minus px 4x plus 4 is equal to 0. This is the polynomial expression. Suppose for x is equal to 2. What is the value of this expression? P2. That is the 2 square minus of 4 into 2 and plus of 4. That is the 4 minus 8 plus of 4. That is the 8 minus 8 is equal to 0. So what is the exactly find? P2 is equal to 0. When putting on the value x is equal to 2 in the expression, the value becomes equal to 0. It means x is equal to 2 is the zeros of these equations. And this is also known as the roots of the equation of the given quadratic equations. So x is equal to alpha is the root of the quadratic equations if it's satisfied by this condition. When putting the value of x is equal to alpha in the expression, its values becomes 0. Its value becomes 0. Now, next, checks for the rules. How to check? Question is that check whether the value 1, 2, 3 is the root of the equations. Okay. So simple logic is that expression is given by Px is equal to x square minus of 5x plus of 6. Now we have to put x is equal to 1. So find P1. Find 1 square minus 5 into 1 plus of 6. It is the 1 minus 5 plus 6. That is the 7 minus of 5 is equal to 1. On putting x is equal to 1, it values becomes not equal to 0. So, on putting for x is equal to 1, value of the polynomial is not equal to 0. That is a 2. So, x is equal to 1 is not a root of this polynomial. Is not a root of this polynomial. Exactly. Is not a root of this polynomial. For the second expression, we also can be say this one. Suppose what I have to do, we have to just put the x is equal to 2 in the given polynomial. Just we have to put the equation number 2 in the given polynomial. Just put here. So polynomial is here Px is equal to x square minus of 5x plus of 6. Just put x is equal to 2. Second value is x is equal to 2. Put x is equal to 2 here. What happened? 2 square minus 5 into 2 and plus of 6. So that is the 4 minus of 10 plus of 6. So that is the 10 minus 10 is equal to 0. So putting x is equal to 2, it becomes, value of this polynomial becomes equal to 0. So x is equal to 2 is a root of this polynomial. So written here x is equal to 2 is the root of the given equation. And similarly, we can check when putting x is equal to 3, that is the 3 square minus of 5 into 3 and plus of 6. And it also becomes is equal to 15 minus 15 is equal to 0. It means x is equal to 3 is also the roots of these equations. So when I'm putting the x is equal to, the expression for the polynomials becomes 0. Then we can say that value is the roots of that equation. So x is equal to 1. Value of the polynomial is not equal to 0. So x is equal to 1 is not a polynomial here. But x root of the polynomial. But at x is equal to 2 and at x is equal to 3, the value of the polynomial becomes 0. So x is equal to 2 and x is equal to 3 will be the roots of these quadratic equations, given expressions. So in this way, we can check out where the given roots are when the given values are the roots of the given equation, polynomial equations are not. By doing that, we can find out the analyze our answer here. Now, next types of roots. We have just found out if a quadratic equation is have the degree is the 2. This is the general form of the quadratic equation, and the general degree is the 2 here. So it have the 2 roots. A quadratic equation of degree 2 have the 2 roots. So we have to know what is the nature of these roots. The nature of the roots are in the 3 parts. Category is the 3 types. It should be the real roots. It should be the real roots. It should be the real and equal root. That is the equal roots. And it should be the imaginary roots. So for this quadratic equation, first of all, we have to find out a discriminant. That is known as the discriminant value. That is the discriminant. Discriminant given by b square minus 4ac. That is the value. We have to just find out discriminant. If the discriminant is positive, the roots can be distinct. The roots can be distinct. And is equal to 0, the roots can be real and equal. And if the discriminant is negative, the roots is considered to be not real. That should be the imaginary, not real. 3 conditions are here: when the discriminant is the positive value, when the discriminant have the negative value, when the discriminant have the 0 value. The discriminant have the positive, roots are real and distinct. If the discriminant is the 0, roots are real and equal. And the discriminant is negative, roots are real, not real, it's of the imaginary consideration. So this is the nature of the equation, roots of the equations. Now, one by one, we understand this concept by taking an example here. For a quadratic equation, real roots can be either distinct real roots and equal real roots. For distinct real roots, discriminant value b square minus 4ac must be positive. Suppose the expression is written here, x square minus a 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. And comparing this equation is this form, x square plus a bx plus c is equal to 0. We find here a is equal to 1, b is equal to minus 5, and c equal to 6. Now calculate here, b square minus 4ac, b square minus 4ac. So minus 5 square minus a 4ac. That is the 25 minus our 24 is equal to 1. And that is the positive. That is the positive. So b square minus 4ac is the positive for this equation. So its roots will be real and distinct. That will be the roots will be the real and distinct. The distinct real roots. And roots are calculated by that method. We can calculate these roots. So we can find x is equal to 2 and x is equal to 3. Because for x is equal to 3, the value of the polynomial expression are also below. And for x is equal to 3, this expression is also value of the expression is equal to 0. So x is equal to 2 and x is equal to 3. The roots of this expression is real and distinct. So that is the case. In the same concept, this is the expression x square minus 4x plus 4. So what is the value? We calculate here b square minus 4ac, b square minus 4ac. And the b have the value minus 4, that is the minus 4 square, minus of 4a. A have the coefficient 1 and c have the coefficient 4. So that is the 16 minus of 16 is equal to 0. So here discriminant is b square minus 4ac is equal to 0. The roots will be real equal root. That is the distinct and real. That is the distinct and real. If the discriminant is positive, roots will be real and distinct. Roots will be the real and distinct roots. So these are the nature by which way we can find out the value of all the roots here. So we move next for the third case here. If the discriminant have the value d is equal to b square minus 4ac for any quadratic equations, if the discriminant is positive, two distinct real roots. If discriminant is 0, one real root but repeated, but that is the roots are equal. And discriminant is negative, that is the imaginary roots. That is the imaginary roots. So these have the expression conclusion for our the nature of the roots. Nature of the roots. Okay. Now, solution. How to find out the solution of the quadratic equation? How to find out the solution of quadratic equations? The first method is the factorization method. Factorization is the process of breaking down algebraic equation with the product of the simpler expressions. In this context, quadratic equation goal is expressed to the quadratic equation as the expression of the product of two binomial factors. That is ax plus p type and bx plus q type is equal to 0. So how to do that? We have to take an example to describe the context in the simple way. Step of factorization. What I have to do here? You don't understand this meaning here. Just follow the instruction. What I have to do? Suppose we have an equation here. Ax is x square minus of 5x and plus of 6 is equal to 0. And we are going to find out the factorization. We are going to learn this, how to factorize this first. So first of all, we compare the sequence standard form. Okay. The standard form is here ax square and plus of bx plus of c, that is equal to 0. Okay, so what I have to do first? You need to know the coefficient of, that is the here a, and know the constant term. Here we have to also coefficient of 1x is 1 and coefficient of 6 is here, constant is the 6. So we know here 1 into 6, that is equal to 6. We have to find out the point. So first of all, find two numbers such that multiply to give the product a into c. We should just find a into c. We have to multiply a into c. We have to multiply the coefficient of x square 1 into 6. The coefficient is here 6. Okay, 6. Now we have to break them in that. What I have to do? Now we have to write all the possible factor of this one. All the possible factor of 6. So all the possible factor of 6 is 1 into 6. Okay, 6 into 1. 2 into 3 also. Any other one? Any other more? No. 1 into 6 is equal to 6. Yeah, 6 into 1. Both are the same. Not commutative. We have to follow just one, right? 1 into 6 or 6 into 1. Just to follow. 2 into 3 and 3 into 2. Both are the same thing. So we have to write only one times. So these are the possible factor of 6. Now, come here in the question. If before this constant, we have to read the sign. What is the sign of this one? Sign is the plus. So you have to take that factor after addition. That's the sign. We have to take that factor. We have to, after taking addition of both, get the middle term. Get the middle term. So we are one term is 1 plus x. We add 1 plus x, that is equal to 7. Here is not 7. So it should be the not taken. But 2 plus 3. But 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. So we have to take in this one. So expression should be the very much clear. So we have what I have to write here? X square minus of 5x plus of 6 is equal to 0. Now how to complete this? See here. What I have to do? X square minus 5, we have to write 3 plus 2. That is write 2 plus 3 into x, and plus of 6 is equal to 0. And let's open this one. X square minus of 2x minus of 3x plus of 6 is equal to 0. Make the factor up, make the pair 2, 1, and this one 2 as well. Taking this one, x is the common. X minus 2. From here we have taken minus 3 is the common. So x minus 2 is equal to 0. So on doing that, we have to compare and come on the point. This should be the same, x minus 2, x minus 2. So finally we can write here x minus 2 is the taken as the common. And finally, if we bracket x's, and here becomes 3 is equal to 0. So this is the factor. X minus 2 and x minus 3 is equal to 0. But this is the method by splitting the middle terms. Just don't follow the rules. Just see the examples and just listen to me clearly. What I have to exactly do. So x minus 2, x minus 3 is equal to 0. And this implies that x is equal to 2 or x is equal to 3 and x is equal to 3 are the roots of these quadratic equations. X square minus 5x plus 6. So this is the method by doing that. That is the step of factorization of the quadratic equation. That is the step 2 to how to factorization of the quadratic equations. That is the step. I hope you understand what is the meaning and how to find out the roots of the quadratic equations. Okay. So next we move. I am giving some examples with you here, and you have to make the factor of that one. Just we have to give an example. Okay. So algorithm. The following steps are used to solve the quadratic equation by the factorization method. First of all, what I have to do? Factorize the constant term of the given quadratic equations. Represent the coefficients of the middle terms as the sum or difference of the factorized terms. Just I've explained. Split the middle terms, factorize the quadratic equation, and grouping them. Okay. Now we come to the problem. Just we have solved all this problem I have discussed with you in detail. X square minus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. What I have to do? You have to take in the coefficient of x into 1, that is the 6. Write all the possible factor 1 into 6, 2 into 3, and let's see the sign up before the 6. Before 6, sign is here plus, sign is here plus. So addition of these two may give the middle term. Okay. 1 plus 6, 7 is not accepted. plus 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. It should be asserted because here the 5. So we have written here. And example is the x minus 2 is equal to x equal to 3. And solving x is equal to 2 is a factor and x is equal to 3 is also the factor for that one. This is the method by way you can solve and find out the solution for that one. We have taken another example. This is a rectangular form questions. A rectangle has a length of 2 meters more than its width. The area of rectangle is 8 square meter. Find the dimension of the rectangle step by step formulation. This is the formation. This is the rectangle. You know, in the rectangle, front sides are equal. So this is the form of rectangle. Here it is written here, it is said to us that instructed us a rectangle has a length 2 meters more than its width. So first of all, we have to suppose its width. To have to take it here, let's width be x meter. Let's width be x meter. To width be x meter, then length is equal to more than 2 with width. So length plus 2 meter more. So this is the x and this is the x plus 2 meter. So let the width be x meter. So what will be the area? Area is given. Area of rectangle is equal to length into breadth. So area is given 8 and length is given x plus 2 and breadth is given x. So we have to multiply this equation. So this is the x into x square plus x into 2, 2x and minus of 8 is equal to 0. This is the quadratic equations. Anybody can factorize this equation. That's the great. If you understand the concept, you may factorize this one and find out the value of what is the value length and breadth of these equations. What I have to do here? What I have to do? Just we put the equations. What I've written here? X square minus of equation is that x square plus of 2x. Okay. X square plus of 2x minus of it. X square plus of 2x minus of 8 is equal to 0. Simple and sweet concept. What I have to do? Coefficient of x, that is the 1. 1 into 8 we have to multiply. We have to multiply 1 into 8. We have to multiply 8. And write all the possible factor of 8. That is the 1 into 8 and 4 plus 2. 4 into 2. That is the two factors of 8, 1 into 8 and 4 into 2. Okay. Now we see the sign of the constant term. If kind of the constant term sign is the minus 1. So we have taken the dot factor difference is equal to middle term. So 8 minus 1 is equal to that. The 6 is not accepted. Okay. But 4 minus 2 is equal to 2 is it fully accepted. So factorization will be in that way. X square plus of 4 minus of 2 x minus of 8 is equal to 0. Now we open this one. X square plus of 4x minus of 2x minus of 8 is equal to 0. Now make the grouping. Taking the 2, first of 2. In this expression, we have the common 4. So x plus we have the common x plus 4. Here we have the common 2 and table of 2 is have 8 also. So we have the common 2, x plus 4 also here. So it should be same. This is the x plus 4. Here is also x plus 4. Take the common x plus 4 here, x plus 4, and x minus 2 is equal to 0. So on this is implies that x is equal to minus 4 and x is equal to plus 2. These are the roots of this equation. So x is equal to plus 2 and x is equal to minus 2 is the roots of this quadratic equations. Is the roots of this quadratic equations. These are the roots of this quadratic equations. Okay. So understand, I hope you understand this one. Now moving next. Solution. Next method is that solution of the quadratic equation by completing the square method. So this step used to solve the quadratic equation by completing the square. For any quadratic equation, we have the required formula. Suppose we have the x plus a whole square. What is the expression? X square plus 2xa and plus of a square. So we have to follow the rules of a plus b whole square. So here we have to follow the complement square. X square plus b plus c is equal to 0. So first of all, make the coefficient of x square 1. So we divide the whole expression by a. The expression is that x square plus a b by ax and plus of c by a. To making the complete square, first term the x square, we have x square, okay, x square. And we have to write its second term. Second term is written as b upon a. That is the x b upon a 2ab. It should be the 2ab. B upon 2a should be written here because so we have added here 2ab. You can written the b by x can be written this one. So b square have the value b upon 2a whole square and plus of c by a minus b upon 2a whole square. So because we have to written this one, right extra. So balance we have to differentiate out extra. So can be written in the form of the x square plus b by a. So its left hand side becomes here x plus b upon 2a whole square. That's it. The right hand side becomes the b square minus 2ac 4ac. So this expression becomes in the form of that is here. That is the x square plus a square plus 2ab plus a b square and b square minus a 4ac. So this becomes x plus 2a plus minus under b square minus 4ac. And calculating the transforming the value that is equal to the constant, now that is a b upon 2a. Okay. So this is the method to find out the solution of the quadratic equation by completing the square techniques. So we take an example to describe this method in detail here. Solve. Solve the quadratic equation x square minus 6x plus 5 is equal to 0 by completing the square. Completing the square. So first of all, what I have to do? First of all, we have to write the equation x square minus 6x in the minus 5 and transpose the constant on the right hand side. Okay, that is equal to plus 5 it will become the minus 5. So right left hand side you have to make the complete square. Okay, in the left hand side we have the expression x square. 6 can be written as minus 2ab. That is the that type. So it is the a square, that is the minus 2ab. So b should be the 3 whole square. So minus 5 and plus also we have to write 3 whole square. The left hand side becomes the x minus 3 whole square and right hand side minus 5 plus of 9 is equal to 4. So what happened? X minus 3 whole square is equal to 4. It becomes x minus 3 is equal to plus minus 2. So taking the plus sign, x minus 3 is equal to plus 2. So x is equal to plus 5. And taking the x is equal to minus 2, x is equal to plus 1. These two roots can be found out by the completing the square. X is equal to 1 and x is equal to 3 here. X is equal to 1 and x is equal to 3. Okay. Now moving next. So we have an equation and just we find out the solution for that one by completing the square technique x square minus 6x plus 9 and minus 5 plus 9. So you have to make the left hand side a plus b whole square. We have to just follow the rule. A square plus of 2ab and plus of b square. A square is given here. 2ab is given. B square is not. So b square we have to add both sides. So 9 plus 9 plus 9 we have to add it both sides. Left hand side becomes the square of a minus b whole square and right hand side becomes the 4. So answer is that taking the square root x minus 3 is equal to plus minus 2. So we have to take in the two signs. If you take in the plus 2, x minus 3 is equal to plus 2. The answer is x is equal to plus 2 plus 3 is equal to, that becomes 5. And my answer is x is equal to x minus 3 is equal to minus 2. Minus 2. X is equal to minus 2 plus after that is equal to plus 1. So answer is equal to x is equal to 5 and x is equal to 1 here. So this is the method and that's the techniques you can apply to find out the solution of the quadratic equation by using the cofactors method. Okay. Now most important rule. Solution of the quadratic equation by using the Sridhar rule formula. Sridhacharya, because the equation of any type should be here, we can find out the solution of this one equation by this method. The quadratic formula was first given by the Indian mathematician, that was the Sridharacharya. So his formula, properly known as by his name, that is known as Sridharacharya formula. For example, let us consider equation x square plus 4x plus 2. If we see that equation is solved by factorization method, need to split the coefficient middle term 4 into the two integers sum as the product of 2. So it is not possible for our into. It is not always possible to factorize an equation to find the by completing the square method or by splitting the middle term method to find out the complete solution of the quadratic equations. So this formula gave us rise to any type of second order quadratic equation, second degree quadratic equations. You can find out the solution for that one by taking the complete square techniques also. So we have the method. What is the formula is here? What is the formula? For the quadratic equation, ax square so therefore x is equal to, what is the value? What is the solution of this equation? Is it minus b plus minus under root b square minus of 4ac upon 2a. This is the formula. This formula is known as the Sridharacharya formula. For any equation, for any type of equation, you can use this formula directly construct the value of the roots of the equations. Directly we can construct the roots of the given equations. For example, this is the formula. For taking the plus sign, we have the one roots. Here we are given either x is equal to, here x is equal to minus b plus minus b square minus of 4ac upon 2a. By taking the plus sign, we have the first root x is equal to minus b plus b square minus 4ac upon 2a and b square minus 4ac upon 2a. And b square minus 4ac, what is known as b square minus 4ac is equal to, that is the known as the discriminant. Discriminant. It should be the positive for the real equal roots. It should be the equal to 0 for equal roots, and it should be the negative for the imaginary roots. Okay. So this is the nature of this one. So we can find out here, given here, the discriminant is positive. All the roots of the quadratic equation alpha, beta. Suppose one root is alpha, other root is the beta. So one root is some, other root is one. So roots will be the different. If the discriminant is equal to 0, roots will be the same. Roots will be the equal. And if the discriminant is negative, b square minus 4 is negative, the root should be the imaginary. That is the imaginary notation iota, that is defined by the iota minus 1. Okay. So iota square is equal to, that is the minus 1. That is the imaginary form. So roots will be in the form of imaginary form, beta forms. So this is the basic, and we take an example to describe our solutions. So we taken here example. That's example is most important. So 2x square plus of 3x minus of 5 is equal to 0. So we just compare this equation is ax square plus of bx plus c is equal to 0. I'm comparing this equation standard form. We find here a equal to 2, b equal to 3 and c equal to minus 5. So comparing the equation, we find a equal to 2, b equal to 3, and c equal to minus 5. Now using the quadratic formula, that is the Sridharacharya formula, formula is that x is equal to minus b plus minus under root b square minus of 4ac upon 2a. Just put the value. B is equal to 3. So minus 3 plus minus 3 square minus 4ac upon 2a and make the simplification. Okay. So x is equal to minus 3 plus minus 7. X is equal to here minus 3 and plus minus 7 is here upon 4. Okay. So upon taking the plus sign, to minus 3 plus 7, we will take the plus sign. Okay. So minus 3 plus 7, what happened? 4. 4 by 4 is equal to 1. And taking the negative side, minus 3 minus 1, that is minus 4, that is, the answer is the minus 5 by 2. The solution will be x is equal to 1, x is equal to minus 5 by 2. So by simply this formula, my meaning is to say that by this formula, you can directly construct the value of the quadratic equations by direct. No other options and nature we are going to find out the solution, what will be happen. But you can directly construct the solution for any type of quadratic equation, coefficient set in any form of that. So take another example to describe the solutions. Question is that here, question is that, okay, question is not given. Question is not given here. Question is that. Question is that here. Hmm. Question is that here. X square minus of 7x plus of 12 is equal to 0. This is the equation. I'm going to find out the solution. So comparing a is equal to 1, coefficient of x square is equal to 1, coefficient of x is equal to b, and constant term is equal to c. Okay. Now we use the formula x is equal to minus b plus minus under root b square minus of 4ac upon 2e. That is the value of x. Now just put the values here. We have to put minus, and we have the b have the minus 7 plus minus under root minus 7 square minus a 4 1 into 12 upon 2e. The minus 1 means it becomes plus. The plus minus 7 square have the 49 and 12 into 4 48. 49 minus 48, that is equal to plus 1. So x have the expression x is equal to plus 7 plus minus 1 upon 2. If we are taking the plus sign here, so what happens? X is equal to 7 plus 1 by 2. That is the 8 by 2 is equal to 4. And if we take x is negative sign, so x have the expression 7 minus 1 by 2, that is the 6 by 2 is equal to 3. So expression gives us by taking the positive sign, expression gives us by taking the negative sign. X is equal to 4 and x is equal to 3. This is the method by that say we can find out the solution for that quadratic equation by using the quadratic formula method. That is the quadratic formula method. Okay, we have some questions. We have to for the solution. Solve the quadratic equation by using the complete square method. One is the x square plus of 6x minus 7 is equal to 0. What I have to do? First of all, what I have to do? X square plus of 6x is equal to 7. We have to write this way. Left hand side, we have to make complete square. What I have to do? A square 2ab plus of b square. We have to this expression. So x means x square is given. Plus of 6x can be written in the form of 2x 3, 2ab. So we have to need a b square. B square must be 3 square. That is 3 square we have to need. So we have to also add in the left hand side inside 3 square. So right hand side becomes left hand side x plus 3 whole square and right hand side 7 plus 9, that is equal to 16. X plus 3 is equal to 16 square. So x is equal to plus 3 is equal to plus minus 4. If you've taken plus 4, x is equal to 1. And we taken the minus 4, x is equal to minus 7. So answer will be plus 1 and minus 7. So you can take here. Answer is here x is equal to 1 and x is equal to minus. So this is the method by way you can find out the solution of the quadratic equation by using the complete square method or so on. In this way, you can conclude the answer. In this way, we can conclude the quadratic equation by squaring the complete method and so on. So we have the two solutions here. X is equal to plus 1, x is equal to minus. So I hope you understand the concept of quadratic equations, how to find out the solutions. And we have to discuss some other examples to describe for the natures and problem in this one. Now we give an example here to discuss here. Now we given all of you a question here to discuss, and we have anyone give the answer for that one. X square minus of 2x and minus of 3 is equal to 0. And we have to solve this equation by using the quadratic formula. And you have the 2 minutes to find out, give the solution, what is the value of x is equal to. If you understand, I hope you understand, then you can give the answer in earliest. So give the answer for this one. I have also written some examples here. X square plus of 6x plus of 8 is equal to 0. And x square is equal to 49 is also some example of this one. We given x 2x square minus of x minus x is equal to 0. We have to also solve these equations. Even also x square plus of 4x plus of 3 is equal to 0. This all the equation must be solved by the use of the quadratic equation formula, by completing the square method formula, and by the factorization method also. So as your wish, any one question can be solved by any three methods, and by completing x square plus of 3x and plus of 2 also is equal to 0. This all the questions written here you can solve by the using the factorization method, by splitting the middle terms, and by completing the square here by using the quadratic formula. All the different types of problems you have, and you have to do the practice for before for your better understanding of about this concept by the quadratic equations. Any given answer for that one? Anyone? No. Okay. One have given answer, that is x is equal to -1. Very good. Some students have given the answer very well. Okay, very good. So I hope you understand. So this is the whole about the quadratic equation. So we are going to summarize our relations here. In this section, we have discussed with you the some problems on practical application of the quadratic equation. The quadratic equation are mostly used to solve the problems on numbers, problems on time, distance, problem on the times and work problems, age problems, problem in geometrical, problem on mensuration, etc. In this type of problem, first we formulate the quadratic equation from the problem statement, that is the word problem. Sometimes it happens that out of the roots of the quadratic equation has only one meaning of the problem. In such cases, the roots will satisfy the condition of the problem and will be accepted. So this is the concept, and I hope you understand this one. So finally, we see here learning outcome appreciation. In this one, we have discussed about understand the quadratic equation, derive the quadratic formula, and apply the quadratic formula to find out the solutions. And discuss here the different types of method, that is the middle term splitting method and quadratic formula methods, and by the completing square method, and also discuss some problems in word form, how to convert in the quadratic equation, and then completely find out the solution of that one. So these are all the things related to the quadratic equation. I hope you have enjoyed the sessions. Any discussion from your side, any queries from your side, you may raise your queries in the comment box. I will give the answer with you. Any questions, any discussion, any queries from your side, you may give your comment in the comment box. Anyone? Some students have given the right answer. That's it. Very good. Any question, any discussion? So I hope you enjoy the session. Thank you very much, everyone.